give some people to get started. All right. Fantastic. We're live. Give a few minutes for people to join.
Yep, we are officially live. How's everyone doing out there?
Hello.
We're going to give everyone a few minutes to come in, and then we'll do our intro, and then we will get started with your questions, some updates. We'll give it 1 minute, and then we're gonna
2 minutes.
We're gonna hit it.
All 1.5 minutes. I don't know what all those notifications are on TikTok. There's a lot going on there, right?
Yeah, just a lot of people are just seeing it, and we have the first one joined, and here's Odette has joined as well.
We're gonna add Odette to the stage. We are live. Hello, Odette. All right, 3, 2, 1. There she is. It's like magic.
We just started that, so you are right on time. Sorry that we were slow getting that link to you. That's on us.
It's okay.
I was just sauteing ground beef 7 minutes ago. I have oil splatters on myself.
And I'll add you as soon as I see you on TikTok here, okay?
Okay.
Everyone's joining. It's a beautiful Wednesday night. Just
yeah, we're getting lots of folks coming into TikTok, so we're cooking with fire now. We're gonna get started.
Yeah, and for those of you who are joining TikTok, go ahead and pop your question in. There is Divine 716. Are we? Yeah. Are we? Is our volume all the way down there?
Mm-hmm. It is
okay,
indeed.
Fantastic.
All right, I haven't seen the invite yet for her. I see that she joined.
Do you click on it? Or
no, I just usually get.
Okay. Odette, I'm liking that summery white you got going on today. Very nice.
It was very hot today.
It was really hot today. All right, but I think that with the volume up.
Yeah, as soon as we see you there, we will. Yeah. We'll get you in when we get a chance to send you an invite. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We got questions coming. Let's hit it. Welcome everyone to our live stream. My name is John Gardner, and this is my wife and law partner, Radlyn Mendoza.
Hello, everyone.
And we are the co-founders of the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza. We are in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We come to you every Wednesday from 8:05 to 8:50 to give you immigration updates and to answer your immigration questions. No, I'm kidding. It's normally from 8 to 8:45. We were running a little bit late today. I was still emotionally recovering from the World Cup game. For those of you who saw it, it was a thriller. I know a lot of people were following the World Cup. Argentina, England. I was pulling for England. I would have loved to have seen England in the final. But, wow, I mean, Argentina does it again. England was up 1-0 to the 85th minute, and Argentina scores 2 goals in the closing moments of the game. They win it 2-1. They've done this over and over throughout the tournament, and they are through to face Spain in the final. So congratulations to Argentina
and Spain,
to all the Argentina fans out there, and congrats to Spain as well. They beat France day before yesterday. So we come to
World Cup highlights.
Yeah, those are the World Cup highlights. I know that's what everybody really wants to talk about, but you may want to talk about some immigration as well, and that's what we're going to do. We have a couple updates that we can get to as we go, and I want to warn you that what we do here is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not legal advice, but we do want to answer your questions. So if you have questions, please get them in, posted in TikTok or on Facebook. We're also on YouTube. So wherever you are, we'll get to your questions and get them answered. And as we are most weeks, we are joined by a very special guest tonight, Odette Batchelor, who is a retired USCIS Senior Officer. She was running the whole office here in Norfolk for many, many years. And we are very fortunate to have her here because, it gives us a really great perspective. We are immigration lawyers, but Odette was the one who was adjudicating these cases, reviewing the evidence, deciding whether to approve or deny your cases up to just, a couple months ago. So she brings a great perspective, and it's a great opportunity for you all to pick her brain as well. So Odette, thank you as always for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And for those of you who are here, if you think that you've got friends or family who would benefit from asking Odette a question or asking us a question, then please share this live, and we'll get started with some of the. I think we're going to get started with the updates, or we're going to grab a question real quick. What are we thinking here?
Well, the first thing is we're going to tourism enthusiasts said that they're pulling for Spain in the final. So yeah,
Good luck, Spain.
good luck, Spain.
Well, I can't say who I'm pulling for because we represent people from both Spain
Yes,
and
we have
Argentina
clients from Spain and
and
Argentina.
England
Now, Radlyn, I-
and Morocco
Radlyn
and all
and
the
I-
other countries.
We did live in Spain for a little bit. So,
We did live in
um,
Spain for about 3 months, but we still can't say. Well, you said you're pulling for England. All good.
Yeah, no, my teams are out. I was rooting for the U.S. and England. Both of my teams are out now, so I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the final.
I was rooting for whoever invited us over to a soccer party. That because we wanted to keep eating and drinking.
Yeah,
you know what I
were
mean?
like that Will
Yep.
Ferrell, commercial, right?
Yeah,
We got a lot
right.
of folks saying hello. Yeah, one of the one update that I had, the first one I want to just get to really quickly before we get to these questions, is there was a federal judge in Rhode Island who had blocked basically the 39 country ban, and the government, of course, appealed it. And for those of you who are not super familiar with legal procedures, when a judge does something, that becomes the order. That can then be appealed to the next court, the Court of Appeals, and then ultimately to the Supreme Court. But while it's pending appeal, the government or whoever is asking for the appeal can also ask the court to basically what's called stay their decision. In other words, not enforce whatever decision they had just made in the case. And they can ask them to not enforce that decision while the case is pending appeal. The court here did not stay it. The Court of Appeals did not stay this decision. So that means that the 39 country ban is still off. So if you were in one of those banned countries, you may want to try to move quickly with whatever you're doing, because at least for now, USCIS will be processing those again. And so that's up and running. And my caution to you is to move quickly if you're in that boat, because it will go up on appeal. And the sort of pattern that we've seen with a lot of these immigration cases, most of them, is that the Court of Appeals may uphold this decision, but the Supreme Court seems to not be upholding a lot of them. So my guess is that ultimately the Supreme Court will basically reinforce the ban. So you have some window of opportunity here to try to keep moving quickly.
If they take the case, right?
Yeah, if they take the case. They've been taking most of these immigration cases. So I'm not saying that they will. I just, right now the ban is off. So, call us.
No ban.
No ban.
No ban.
There's no ban right now. All
If
right?
you have a case that is pending and is with the USCIS, and maybe you got pulled out of your naturalization ceremony. I mean, I've heard that that's happened. Obviously, your attorneys and you should be working to be in touch with the office if you think that your case should be going forward, and it should, and even getting congressional liaison assistance if needed, because John is right that window could close on us. So hopefully not. All right, thank you for that update.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, since Odette's here, let's ask Odette a question about this. So Odette, when Odette went through multiple administrations, right? In
Wes,
42 years. How many? 6 or 8?
I think it was 5.
Five
I think it
administrations.
was Bush Senior, Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama, Trump, Biden.
So it's like this, right?
And
I mean, has it been like that, right?
Yes.
And I don't remember, right? I just can't remember. We've been doing this for 27 years. I mean, there had to have been some country bans, pauses on cases, right, in the 42 years. when that gets lifted, do you have an idea? And if you don't remember, if there wasn't something like that, where, how quickly is USCIS getting back and processing these cases?
Oh, they start pushing them right away because they're already in queue. So
Yeah.
they've probably already been sent to the offices to work when the ban started, and then everything was just held up. They don't go anywhere. They're just sitting there. So
Yeah.
that is now pushed to the officers to lay, hey, let's get as many done as we possibly can.
That's amazing news. Hopefully y'all heard that. And this is why all three of us, for the past multiple months, answering the questions like, well, I'm not going to do my case because there's a ban on my country. Well, then now the ban has been lifted. It could be a short window. You could have been in that queue that Odette is talking about had you went ahead and filed. So
Right.
it's Odette is immigrant. Now, there's a lot that goes on when we see, like, during COVID, people weren't able to come in. There's been all kinds of things where maybe they're here, pockets here, you're hearing like, oh, the field offices in foreign countries shut down. Oh, we're not letting people in. We're pausing K-1 visas during COVID. What about USCIS here in the United States? I mean, do you guys shut down when all this stuff is happening?
Nope. We're still working. We're still working on cases that we already have. So whatever is in the queue or whatever files that are sent down that are already ready for processing, they send them. Even during COVID, everybody was working from home, like it was a regular work day, but just working from home.
Yeah, that's right. And we knew the answer to that question, but sometimes you guys have to hear it from someone who worked on the inside,
On
right?
the inside.
I was going to say on the inside. I was like, what is a better phrase? And I know this is a good one.
That's all we got to do. On the inside.
In 42 years, this is just a wealth of information and knowledge. And you heard it from Odette. Odette just recently retired. It's been less than a year and nothing has changed, right?
Nope.
USCIS is still processing your case. But when they don't process your case? They don't process your case when you never file your case.
That's right.
Right.
And I mean, if this is the first time that you guys have joined us, I am annoying. I admittedly I am annoying.
Nah.
I just want you all to take the action that that you need to take. And then we have our excuses. We have our excuses why we can't do certain things. Like, oh, well, I'm not going to file that I-130 petition for mom because, I mean, there's a ban, right? I mean, it's a ban. So I heard it was banned. I heard now's not a good time. I heard Trump is going to personally take my mom's I-130 petition and adjudicate it and say no because, he's whatever. You all make excuses. We are all human. We all make our own excuses, but these are really important things to know, that you are just making an excuse and there's no excuse not to file your case. All right.
Yeah, the ban is just like, for those of you who live in our area, which many of you who join us do, it's like you're getting ready to go into Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel and then they stop the traffic because there's the red light there and you're just waiting. Well, when that light turns green and they open the tunnel back up, you're still right there. You're still the first or second person in the line there. It's not like you have to go back and get somewhere else. You just start where you were when it stopped. So right. Keep moving. All right.
Keep moving, keep filing. And I mean, you all don't know, right? I mean, you hear ban, you look at the media, you look at what's coming out of the administration. 75% of it, 85% of it probably doesn't apply to you, but it seems negative for immigration. And then you start to make your own conclusions about what you can and can't do, or what you should or shouldn't do. I shouldn't apply for citizenship right now because it's not a good time. I shouldn't file for my wife right now. It's not a good time because of what you hear. And we all do that, but that's why we're here, right? That's why we're here. That's why immigration lawyers are on TikTok and are on their live streams, just so in order to educate you all and just make sure that you know what the real truth is, despite what you see in the headlines. Mm-hmm. So please don't delay on your case. Go ahead and file your case, even if you hear ban and this and that or the other. It's USCIS is still open. You heard it from Odette, who had worked for immigration for 42 years. If anyone knows, she knows.
Yeah, we have green cards arriving in our office every day.
That's right. And work permits.
Literally, and work permits.
And advanced parole documents,
All of
like all of it, every single day. Good, very
Okay.
good point.
Let's grab
another question.
Our first question here on TikTok, which is, good evening. I have a green card, but I have a shoplifting conviction. It was $75. It was 30 years ago. Can I travel?
Can I travel? So that user who asked that question, you really need to speak with an immigration attorney, right? It could be us, it could be someone else. It doesn't matter, so long as it's somebody who you trust and is a reputable immigration attorney, immigration law firm. Because even though it happened 30 years ago, I mean, if it happened a year within 5 years of your entry, it could still be an issue. It could still be a problem. I'm not saying that it is, but you need to talk to somebody, because number one, you most likely can, right? This is going to fall under petty offense exception. Hopefully it has been disposed of. You said it was $75. So that's, a class 1 misdemeanor, most likely, right? And,
in Virginia.
And it was a long time ago, right? So most likely, yes. But as John mentioned, like we cannot give you legal advice. We have no idea what all of it entailed. And even though it was a long time ago, you need to check with us or another immigration attorney to look at your record. Your record's probably destroyed. It's 30 years ago. And one other thing that we all three would like to throw out to you is the C question. When are you going to apply for citizenship, right? You've been a lawful permanent resident for a long time. You have this, well, I don't know how long you've been a lawful permanent resident, but you have this thing that happened 30 years ago. Most likely you put it on your I-45 application, right, when you filed for the green card. It's way outside of the good moral character period. Odette, what are your thoughts?
I'm thinking the same thing you did, just based on what they said. I don't know any details of what was done, but yeah, most likely they're able to travel.
Right. And for citizenship as well. I mean, check into that.
Yeah.
give us a call. Look, if you call us and you're asking about this, and you talk to me, if you are eligible for citizenship, I'm going to be pushing you really hard to apply for U.S. citizenship right now.
Yeah. And I just want to throw out on the other side, under these circumstances, it sounds like you're probably okay, but just for people generally who are tuned in here, theft crimes, and that's a major red flag. So if you're somebody who has a theft conviction, whatever you're doing, you really should tread carefully and reach out to us before you do too much.
Yep. And I'm going to add that, I will say again, sometimes good people do bad things or do the wrong thing. We're all human. And we have seen this so many times. We have seen people hold back on filing for citizenship, hold back on traveling, even hold back on petitioning for their child because something like a petty theft happens, a shoplifting happens. And they don't know that they can move forward. They can file the petition for their child. They can apply for citizenship. They can travel. And so, I mean, I've really seen this where, I mean, this is kind of an extreme case where a parent had not seen their daughter for decades because of a shoplifting charge. And this person was deathly afraid of getting in trouble again, or, getting deported, or, whatever imaginary things that we make up in our mind without actually confirming with a professional and immigration attorney. So that's what I'll say about that. It can apply to anything. It can apply to speeding tickets or reckless driving tickets or anything that may be a minor thing. You're making it bigger than it actually is. And it's good to talk to someone about it. Don't be stuck in fear is my message here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you know what to make of this Ellie wants to know, I applied for I-485 and received the MSC code instead of IOE. Does it have any effect?
No, it shouldn't have any effect.
All right. There you go.
It's just coding. It's just coding on receipt.
That was a very short and sweet answer. I like that. I was fully expecting more, but
I know. I
Ellie,
mean, that's usually
no.
that's usually the case, but not this time.
All right, we'll jump over to Facebook here, and Teresa wants to know how quickly are citizenship applications being processed, and are there new testing procedures?
You know, I feel like we should let subject matter real expert answer this question.
Yeah, no doubt.
Are you aware of processing times right now, Odette? If not, I can. I mean, I have an idea, but did you?
I
Did you?
thought they were like, I want to say 13 months, but I could be wrong. I thought it changed. But the tests are still the same. The only difference would be questions as far as who's the president, who's your senator, you know, who's
Yeah.
like what politician could be like for your area that's running. Other than that, all the questions are still the same.
All the questions are still the same. The test was updated. I don't even know when, but it was fairly recently. Was it was it a year ago or within a year? Didn't we do a webinar on that?
Yes, we did, and it was same questions. They added a few more.
Is it 128 questions now, right?
Yeah, there was an additional number that were added to basically the questions they can choose from. But Odette is right. You want to make sure that you're, up to date on all the current things, because all those questions, the answers will change.
Okay. And you may be asking as far as testing procedures. Odette, can you just walk our viewers through what you all do during an interview? Now, listen up, guys. This may not apply to you now, but
I would say each office does it a little different as far as testing. Sometimes the test is done in a whole different part of the office, not by the officer doing the interview. But in the Norfolk office, it's still done by the officers during the interview. You come in, they call your name, they swear you in, and then they look at your documents that you have, your green card, your passport, and then they start the test, right? So once they go through the test, even if you didn't pass the test, they're still going to go over your application, because if you might have missed 4 or 5 questions and you have to come back and retake maybe the civics portion or a writing portion or a reading, at least the question parts will be done for the N400 application itself, and you come back and do the history or civics part later, the civics or the reading and writing later. So that's still the same. That part didn't change, at least for Norfolk. And every other office does the same thing, except the test may be done in a different part of the office.
Gotcha. Okay. And if people fail the test the first time, when can they expect to come back to retest?
60 to 90 days, they're rescheduled back in.
So
not before.
Pretty quick, though. It's pretty quick.
It's pretty quick.
Yep. And then when they ultimately pass the test and they're recommended for approval and swearing in, how long? And we're not going to hold you to this because, again, there are different offices. But how long does it typically take? Let's just say in Norfolk.
Typically, it can take anywhere up to 3 to 6 months, depending on the court, to get scheduled in for your ceremony.
That's the 6 month is long.
Yeah. And I speak about jurisdictions that's further out west from in Virginia. So those will take longer. But Richmond, Norfolk's pretty quick.
Gotcha. Okay. And then I will just quickly add here, Teresa, that there is a, you know, a totality of the circumstances, like looking at your N400 and the totality of the circumstances. We really haven't seen the local immigration officers doing very much with that. We always have our clients get something, maybe from their employer or from your child's school or whatever, or your neighbor, to say that this is a great person. Um, the officers seem to be confused when we try to hand that evidence to them, just because we want to fulfill that totality of the circumstances burden. They take it, they seem to, not care that much about it. That may not be true in other jurisdictions,
Right. Yeah.
but it is something that was launched maybe 8-9 months ago. It hasn't really caught on locally. Thankfully.
Thankfully, that's right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that would be something different. We just haven't been seeing it locally.
And, Teresa, I just would note that in our office, all of our citizenship cases, we fully prep our clients. Obviously we do the applications, but we also fully prepare them for the interview. And so they go in knowing exactly, they've gone through a mock interview. They know exactly what's coming.
Right. And one last thing I'll add, and I know we spent a little bit on this, is that Odette said that they will go over your full N400 application. I believe it's now like 21 to 23 pages, right? So you may think that because you have memorized the questions really well and you can get 100% on the test, but you actually have no idea how to understand English and speak English, that you are going to be scot-free on the English portion of the test. That need to warn you that if you're struggling with English and you really don't know how to speak English or understand English, that will be revealed when the officer goes over the questions, right? When they ask you the questions, Odette, have you ever had a client who got 100% on the civics test, did fine on the reading and writing, but then there's a point in the interview where you thought, hey, wait a minute, I don't think this person understands English?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit, right.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? I mean, so where you're going through the application, just describe what happens.
Well, usually when we understand that they don't really understand, it doesn't even, a lot of times it gets to your address. Where do you live?
Yeah.
And if they struggle with that, we know the rest of the questions that might be a little difficult for them. But we try. We try to go through as many as we possibly can before we realize they don't understand. They will be scheduled to come back again. Hopefully they bring someone with them so we can explain what happened during the interview, because all they know is that they passed the test. But to pass everything, you must be able to understand, read, write, and understand English. So they will get another opportunity. Again, 60 to 90 days, they'll be called back in to go over that application again.
That's tough. It's tough. And it's also really heartbreaking because mom and dad have really studied for this test.
Right.
They've put in the hours. Y'all have locked them at home with the television and the questions on the television, and they're going through it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we usually see these cases when they come to us after they've failed that first interview. And then it's just like, mom doesn't speak English. Like she does not understand. Good job memorizing. And it is usually elderly parents that we see.
Always parent cases.
Yeah.
Been here 5 years, and
right.
their child, grown adult children are pushing them to get their citizenship now, and they're really not ready yet. I'm not
You're
ready.
not ready. That's right.
Yeah,
So
this is like memorized 3 times 2 equals
Yeah.
6. But then
Well,
when
they're leaving the kids too, their children, the grandchildren, to help them prepare.
yeah.
Th- Those questions are not made for the children to understand.
Yeah. You know, the fourth grader quizzing the third grader quizzing your mom or dad, third grade grandchild is just again, it's kind of just like re just like retraining that, okay, I can just memorize this because yeah. So
All right, and Teresa had a follow-up question that I just put as a banner here. Is the U.S. citizen spouse or attorney with the applicant during the testing?
not the spouse.
Not the spouse. The attorney, yes.
But yes, you may have your very smart immigration attorney sitting next to you. And I always tell people, now you're probably wondering, like, what do you do during the interview? I cannot answer the questions for you, right? I can't help you out with the questions. Yeah. George Washington. No, okay. But we are there. I say, for number one, peace of mind, right? But there are some things sometimes when the immigration officer is going through the record that we can explain if there's something that needs to be explained. But most of the time we're there for, again, for peace of mind. And if there is anything that the immigration officer needs, there was a time there for a couple of years where everything that we filed and paper filed, right, before e-filing was really got popular, everything we filed, it was getting Odette, it was getting manually inputted into the system. Right. And there would be chunks of information. Actually, it still happens. There would be chunks of information that were not on the application, right? And the office is like, okay, well, where do you work? It should be in the application. Like, it's not here. It's not on the application. And then of course we would have to open our file and say, well, we actually did put it in. Like, don't think we're bad lawyers because it's not in the system. It's just that it didn't get inputted correctly. So providing that information and just making sure everything goes smoothly. So yes, your attorney can go with you, but not your spouse. One exception perhaps is not through the N-400, but if you file an I-751 and then it hasn't been adjudicated, and then you file that N-400 afterwards when it's time to file the N-400, sometimes USCIS will schedule the 751 interview on the same day as the N-400 interview, approve it, and then move on to the N-400. But your spouse, I don't believe your spouse can sit in on that 751, but not the N-400. Odette,
Right. Correct.
Right, wrong about this. Okay. All right.
All right, Teresa, I hope all that helps, and hope you'll just give us a call tomorrow. Okay. Ceci over here on TikTok wants to know, can you travel internationally if your conditional green card is expiring in 3 months?
Okay. You can technically travel internationally if your 2-year card is expiring in 90 days. Is it exactly 90 days? I personally wouldn't really recommend that without filing the I-751. Odette, what are your thoughts on that?
You're right. You can travel, but always suggest to file your removal of your conditions as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So this way you have your letter to go with you and the card with your passport when you travel, so you have no problems coming back in.
Right. So because did they say 90 days, or is that what they said?
They said 3 months.
3 months. Okay, 3
yeah.
months.
90 days,
So for those of you who have the conditional card, the conditional green card, you can file the I-751 in the 90-day window before your LPR, your permanent resident card, expires. So if we're talking about 90 days here, I would file the 751 before traveling. That's best practices, right? Let's just say you got to go, right? You have to go, maybe there's an emergency, whatever the case is. You better travel with information and documents to show that you and your spouse are still together, right? That y'all are living because it may come up because it's so close to the expiration. Now, if you're coming back in and you and your spouse are separated, prepare to have a hard time, right? Prepare to be really grilled on what is going on with your marriage. When did you separate? And all of this is going to be in the record, right? So, anything you want to add to that, Odette?
No. Coming back in the country is totally up to the Customs and Border Protection. So they have the right to turn you away or not. So you want to be prepared with everything that you have to show your relationships.
Right. And if you are separated from your spouse, and then, you might want to delay your travel to make sure you get that 751 filed. You have a receipt notice. We talked about this yesterday. Odette and John trained our new team members on, ethics and things that happen in the immigration office. And it was a really helpful training. And we talked a little bit about, the 751 and the filing and the timing, and you're separated but not divorced. So there's just a lot there. And, just practice what is the safest way for you to come back in to the United States.
Yeah.
And it's probably not traveling. So,
all right, here's a question for our firm, Grace. If you want to know if we help with cases where they've already filed, I feel like some things may be concerning her going south.
It depends on where you are or what's happening. Yes, we do help with that. Not always. If there's a case that has been filed and you just filed it and it's still pending, and say we have 18 months for an approval, then we will, depending on the situation, again, may or may not get into that. But you can call our office. You can tell our team, our client engagement specialist, what the circumstances are. We do have a free evaluation from our client engagement specialists. They are not attorneys, but they do and are trained to evaluate your case. So feel free to give us a call. 464-9224. Sorry, 757. 464-9224. And you can DM us as well.
Or info@gmlaw.net. Okay, CJ Mack here wants to know, filed my son's I-130 petition. It's been 3 years now, and I'm still waiting. My son is in the Philippines. That's not a question, but I think we can glean a question from it.
3 years. If you're a U.S. citizen, I would think that's an issue, right? 3 years is too long, where there's no answer on your I-130 petition that you filed. If you're a lawful permanent resident, and if you look at processing times, and we don't know, right? We did they say they were a U.S. citizen?
Didn't say.
Okay. If you're a lawful permanent resident, there's a longer waiting period. If you're a U.S. citizen, and you're filing for your son, and your son is over the age of 21, that's going to be a much longer wait for the I-130 petition to be approved. So one tip that I have for you is to Google USCIS processing times. Remember, always use go to uscis.gov, but just Google USCIS processing times. And then you'll see a couple of boxes there. Actually, I have it open because we were looking at the naturalization, 8.5 months for Norfolk. But anyway, so you'll see there's a box. The first box is form. You're going to put your I-130 petition in, right? It'll take like 1 minute for you to do this. So you'll put your I-130 petition in. The form category, it's going to say, are you a permanent resident filing for a spouse or child under the age of 21? Let's just say that that's what that is. And then you're going to do service center operations. That's the one that you're going to click on. There's no processing times there. It's probably like 72 months or something. That's why there's no processing times. So you'll just go to your different category of who you are as a petitioner, whether you're a permanent resident and as well as your son's age and marital status if you are a permanent resident or a U.S. citizen. So that will give you an idea of how long things are taking.
And just a warning, she said you can do this in under a minute. I mean, she can do it in under a minute. If you've never done this, you're going to not spend under a minute. You'll probably probably spend 3 hours trying to figure it out.
Like it's 53 months.
Only because you're new to the tech. But once you've done it and you get in the habit of searching for these times, you can figure it out.
Yes. Yeah. Good point. But I just did one for I-130 for a permanent resident for unmarried son or daughter, 21 or older. It's 53 months to have an I-130 petition approved. So you've waited for 36 months, but if you are a permanent resident and your son is older than 21 and unmarried, then it's 53 months. So
we would need more info.
We'd need more info, and you're probably okay. It just takes a long time.
Okay. Tourism enthusiasts who told us earlier that they're rooting for Spain in the World Cup final. Same question. They already filed for the green card for the family in 2024. Still waiting. They want to know if we can help them with the case. Again,
give us a call.
Give us a call if you've already filed and there's something about it that's making you uncomfortable, or maybe you just realize, hey, I probably should have had some help with this. Absolutely, we can evaluate whether it's appropriate or something that we should be involved in or not.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Great questions tonight. We'll probably have time for one or two more.
Yeah. Lizen wants to know, can a U.S. citizen petition for a sibling who entered the country illegally? They said had illegal entry.
Can you petition for a sibling who has entered the United States illegally? Yes, you can. You can file an I-130 petition for your sibling with, I'm thinking like maybe the person has entered without inspection, right?
They've been here for 30 plus years.
Yeah. I mean, the answer is yes, you can, but our question is why, right? Why would you why would you file that petition? So it used to be that we would file an I-130 petition, right? We'd file an I-130 petition for, let's say a sibling or a parent, and they're undocumented, right? So even if you get an approval for the I-130 petition, and if your family member is out of status because they've been living in the United States without permission for 30 years or 1 year for that matter, and that petition gets approved, there are two barriers here for the sibling. One, visa bulletin, that visa is not going to be available for, over a decade, right? For 10 plus years. And number two, if there is no mechanism for them to get their green card here in the United States, then they have to leave the United States. That's going to trigger the 10-year bar. And they may not have a waiver to come back in. So we would do this as like a back pocket thing in ICE, like in case of emergency, right? To have this I-130, but it's like, oh, no, look, I have this I-130 petition filed for me by my sibling or whatever, fill in the family member. But right now, to me, and you guys can chime in here, it's a little bit of a dangerous prospect to, file that I-130 petition, put that information out there. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. Again, this is not legal advice. Give us a call and we will analyze the case up and down. But I don't think it may not be a great idea right now. This is what I'm saying. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
I agree.
Yeah, me too.
I agree. Unless you have an address overseas, you're putting where they live at. I wouldn't put an address here.
Right. And all of this is kind of getting, there's the whole alien registration. I mean, there's just so much there. And, we would have to take a look at that. But I will say already, we probably wouldn't even consult on it, right? Just because we don't want you to spend $295 to talk to us for us to say, we just don't think this is a good idea because of the time that it takes. And I think a lot of people think that, okay, I'm going to file a petition for my sibling then they're going to get the green card in a couple of years, right? But there is a very, very long backlog for siblings.
Okay, hope that helps. I give Odette this question.
Sure.
See, Odette, you have a question for you specifically for the officer.
For the retired officer. That's you.
What's the question?
Elizabeth Wilder wants to know, when USCIS gives out combo cards, do they make sure that the petitioner is admissible?
No. The combo card is what you pay for when you file that application.
Yeah.
It is part of the application process. Nobody checks anything else. You paid for it. That's what you get.
Okay.
You get a warning. You will get a warning with that card that tells you about travel, though. So please always read the warning, and it tells you right there if you are not legal here in the U.S. at the time you filed any of these things or an overstay, you may not want to travel.
You may be inadmissible.
Right. So
I mean, yeah.
Read the warnings.
Yeah, that's such a great question. Thank you so much for asking that, realtor person.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a great question. That is such a great question. I don't like people traveling right now, honestly.
Okay. We are basically out of time. We're going to just grab one more question and then we're going to call tonight. Black Pearl wants to know.
Such a great question, Black Pearl.
Black Pearl wants to know, I'm a citizen but unemployed at the moment. Can I petition my parents? My hubby is in the military.
I like how you know what ATM means. I'm so proud of you.
Of course. I'm concerned that you thought I might not know what it was.
Okay, we have young children, so I mean we know all the lingo. Okay, Odette, you want to grab this question?
Yes, you can file for your spouse. Rather you are employed or unemployed, you can file for them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Well, let me just say though that your concern is that affidavit of support, right?
Right.
I mean, if your parent is outside the United States, affidavit of support is not going to show up for another 18 months. Like for you to produce that, it's not going to show up for 18 months, right? Once that I-130 petition is approved, you're going to have to submit your affidavit of support to the NVC. If you're still unemployed, you have your amazing spouse who's in the military, who I'm sure would be happy to be a joint sponsor household member for his mother-in-law coming to the United States, or maybe not. But you do not have to be employed to file an I-130 petition.
All right, Black Pearl, I know that helps. And
give us a call, Black Pearl. This is right up our alley.
He says, I'm currently looking for a job.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, hope that goes well.
Yeah, and this kind of circles back to the beginning. File the petition. Don't let the fact that you don't have a job because you're afraid that you're not going to be able to fill in an affidavit of support that may not be needed for another 18, 20 months. Just file the petition. Get that priority date. Get in line for mom to be able to immigrate here sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you all so much
everyone. Thanks for the great questions. Odette, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Next question. Yes, we do know about SIJS. We do SIJS.
All right. Unfortunately, we have 22 more questions, but we only have our 45 minutes. So if you are left, now 24, join us next Wednesday at 8:00. Get here
or
early
call us.
and get your questions answered. And yeah, absolutely. If you just want to skip the whole live stream TikTok thing and just call our office and become a client tomorrow, that's a way faster way to have all of it resolved. All right. Okay,
all right.
everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, guys.
2 thumbs up, everyone. Have a really great night. Enjoy the World Cup final.